due $961.44. 2010 summer taxes due $598.74. That would bring it up to about $1,500. And winter taxes due $18.24.
No, I'm talking about all 6 parcels. There are 6 continuous parcels there. I owe roughly $11,000 on all 6. There's a single-family home there that's about 1,700 square feet.
This is specific for 524 Industrial Highway.
Correct. It's one of the adjacent parcels. That's why there are 2 garages. It's almost 4 acres, all adjacent to each other at the Tennishaner area. It's behind that, used to be Roma Hall back in the day. They turned it into a teen nightclub and then Skinny's, and now it's some roadhouse type establishment right across the street from the hospital on Tennishaner. No one knows there's that much undeveloped land back there, and it's nice.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Any other comments from council members? I do just want to expound on what the gentleman is saying, is if our treasurer's office on taxes shows that a property tax is delinquent and you go to the county and pay for it, which is what you've stated that you've done,
Yeah.
our system does not update even once they receive the money. So I don't know if that's, that appears what...
I'm not totally paid up to date. I still owe about $11,000 for those 6
No, and you
parcels.
did acknowledge that, but I'm just saying any of those that might be questioning any further beyond that, our paperwork would not state that because the county doesn't provide us they let us know ultimately that it's paid, but our computer system is antiquated and doesn't allow us to go in and say, okay, it was paid at the county.
If I could get clearances from the county and turn them in at the treasurer's office, would that clear?
Unfortunately, it doesn't help our computer system update,
Okay.
so, but you've already made the arrangements to rectify the situation, and I apologize that, there was a lack of an additional notice going to the address that you're normally notified at, so. With that, I'll go ahead and call the question. Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Ms. Vogt?
Yes.
Mr. Warner?
Yes.
Mr. Sadowski?
Yes.
Mr. Liss?
Yes.
Ms. Comartin?
Yes.
Mr. Bacamino?
Yes.
Camp, yes. The motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item number 12, a public hearing, review of special assessment roll number 369, in-ray abatement of nuisance at 8030 Chalmers, $2,092.50.
Item number 12 is a public hearing. Anyone that would like to address this agenda item may do so at this time. Seeing or hearing none, I'll close the public hearing and open this up for council action.
Motion approved.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Green, support by Ms. Comartin. Any discussion? Seeing or hearing none, I'll call the question. Mr. Green?
Yes.
Ms. Comartin?
Yes.
Mr. Bacamino?
Yes.
Mr. Sadowski?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Ms. Vogt?
Yes.
Mr. Warner?
Yes.
Mr. Liss?
Yes.
Camp, yes. The motion passed unanimously.
Item number 13, a public hearing, request of Brownfield Redevelopment Authority to approve a Brownfield redevelopment plan for Saratisit USA INC at 11530 Stevens, 48089, and consideration and adoption of a resolution approving the Brownfield plan.
Item number 13 is a public hearing. Anyone that would like to address this agenda item may do so at this time. Seeing or hearing none, I'll close the public hearing and open this up for council action.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Vogt, support by Mr. Stevens. Any discussion? Seeing or hearing none, I'll call the question. Ms. Vogt?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens? Yes. Mr. Sadowski?
Yes.
Mr. Liss?
Yes.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Ms. Comartin?
Yes.
Mr. Bacamino?
Yes.
Mr. Warner?
Yes.
Camp, yes. The motion passed unanimously.
Item number 14, a public hearing, request of the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority to approve a Brownfield redevelopment plan for General Motors LLC for the former GM Cadillac building located at General Motors Tech Center, 30009 Van Dyke Avenue, 48090, and consideration and adoption of a resolution approving the Brownfield plan.
Item number 14 is a public hearing. Anyone that would like to address this agenda item may do so at this time. Seeing or hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and open this up for council action.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Green, support by Mr. Stevens. Any discussion? Seeing or hearing none, I'll call the question. Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Ms. Vogt? Oh, sorry. Mr. Warner?
Yes.
Mr. Sadowski?
Yes.
Ms. Vogt?
Yes.
Mr. Liss?
Yes.
Ms. Comartin?
Yes.
Mr. Bacamino?
Yes.
Camp, yes. The motion passed unanimously.
Item number 15, an administrative hearing, consideration and determination in Ray, request of General Motors LLC to approve an industrial facility tax exemption certificate under PA 198 of 1974 for the proposed redevelopment of the former Cadillac building at the General Motors Tech Center, 30009 Van Dyke Avenue in Section 9, and consideration and adoption of a resolution granting the industrial facility tax exemption certificate for the real and personal property component, determining the duration of the exemption period and termination date.
I'll move to approve the...
Support.
Motion by Mr. Liss, support by Mr. Warner. It is an administrative hearing. Would anyone from the administration like to give a brief overview of what we're considering this evening? Good evening.
The city has been presented with a very unique and exciting opportunity in this recessed market to support and encourage General Motors to select the city of Warren for 2 proposed investment projects. I wanted to take this time to outline the proposed projects and to give City Council an opportunity to ask representatives from General Motors any questions they may have. Representatives from General Motors are here this evening. They are John Blanchard, Candace Butler, Troy Kennedy, and Kurt Lohr, and they will have an opportunity to address Council's questions a little bit later. This team is in the process of preparing their business proposal for consideration of GM's executive board, who will then select the location of the proposed projects. A team of the city has been working with these representatives since March to provide support and incentives, which we hope will result in the executive board selecting Warren for both projects. The first project is at the Tech Center. The Tech Center project involves renovating the former Cadillac building to house a consolidated data center with state-of-the-art security. The project is projected to have a total investment value of over $170 million and expected to create 25 highly technical, highly skilled, salaried jobs. The General Motors team is seeking a brownfield designation from the state of Michigan, which means that upon completion of the proposed project, General Motors will receive a Michigan business tax credit from the state. The Michigan Growth Authority approves brownfields in the state of Michigan. The authority will not approve a brownfield business tax credit without financial support from the local unit of government. That means, in order to receive a brownfield designation, the city must first approve a tax incentive. For this project, the administration is recommending approval of an industrial facilities tax exemption certificate for both real and personal property investments. This is 50% abatement of taxes. Therefore, the project will generate new tax dollars on 50% of investment with a projected additional $40 million investment that will be taxed at 100%. The proposed project qualifies for the 12-year exemption period, and a 3-year construction period is recommended for approval. This is a very important project for GM and the City of Warren. The brownfield designation requires a public hearing, which was just held, and the other IFTs or 198 abatements require administrative hearings, which we are in the process of right now. A separate resolution must be adopted by the City Council for each item. The Mega Board meets on May 17th to consider the Brownfield Plan. If approvals are received, we are hopeful that the City will hear by the beginning of the third quarter that General Motors has committed to the project at the Tech Center. General Motors is here to explain in more detail the proposed projects in just a few moments. The second investment project is at the powertrain plant. This project is the addition of a new line at the facility on Mound Road. The potential project is projected to have a total investment value of over $308 million and expected to create 401 jobs. As an incentive to select Warren for this proposed project, General Motors has requested, and the administration is recommending, an industrial facilities tax exemption on the real property investment, which is expected to be about $71 million of investment. Therefore, this project will generate new tax dollars on 50% of approximately $71 million of investment. The proposed project qualifies for the 12-year exemption period, and a 3-year construction period has been recommended for approval. General Motors has requested a total of 15 years exemption on the personal property. The investment at the powertrain facility will not only generate new tax dollars on the real property investment, but also means 401 new jobs, a 15-year commitment, and the resulting vitality to the area that all those new jobs will have. The administrative hearing on the request for an IFT at the powertrain facility and the administrative hearing for the personal property both require separate action by resolution of the council. The administration strongly encourages your support for these investment incentives. Now, if you have any questions, the administration and GM representatives would be happy to answer them. I'd like to introduce the GM representatives if the council would like me to do so at this time.
Please.
Would the General Motors representatives please come forward? First, we have Mr. John Blanchard.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Please say your title.
Oh, sure. John Blanchard. I'm the Director of Local Government Relations for General Motors.
And we have Kirk Lohr. I was going to say Rohr. Thank you.
Hello,
Good evening.
I'm the project manager for GM's Global Data Center.
Thank you for being here.
We have Candace Butler.
Good evening. Candace Butler, Manager of Economic Development, and thank you for having us here this evening and considering our requests.
Thank you.
And Troy Kennedy.
With the tax staff, and thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. Any questions from council members?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Sadowski?
Thank you, Madam Chair. First off, wanted to thank General Motors for maybe not in this case just selecting the community yet to work, because I guess that decision will be made later on, but considering the city of Warren and the tech center for this project, it's going to be I guess